welcome back to Ready Up Level 2 now. Kind of excited, kind of nervous with Level 2, but going to be a little more intimidating because it gets harder, but, you know, oh well.
I feel like we can
It's
do
going to be
it.
fun. It'll be fun.
So what you guys, I know I played a few video games since we've last met. Have you guys played anything at all recently?
I'm continuing my Star Wars. I thought I would be able to beat it, but I am still a student in college, so I don't have as much time as I was hoping for. But I've been playing a lot of the new Star Wars Fallen Order, and it's fun. It's really fun. We're actually gonna have a little game time, I think, this weekend or over the next weekend. We're
Yeah.
gonna show you guys
I know,
our
I'm
reactions
so
of the
excited.
game.
Next week,
Excited
for that. Next
we'll be
week.
playing Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order.
Yes.
I've actually played it. I haven't finished it, but I played a good amount of it. It's super fun.
I've
but
seen like
yeah.
a clip of it, and I'm like, I don't want any more spoilers. Like, I'm done with it already.
Yeah.
So
I
like,
think
it
I'm,
was
like,
a
halfway
clip from
through.
like early on in the game, but I'm like, I don't want anything else. I want to play that game completely
Yeah.
spoiler free.
I
Yeah,
think
I've
I'm
just
like
done bits
halfway
and
through.
pieces.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I know you know the story. a little
Yeah,
bit.
no, I couldn't handle myself. I like went onto YouTube immediately and like looked at the full like story mode. I had to know. I just had to.
Yeah.
Because you're right, it does take a while to like get through.
It takes a long
It's
time.
a long
yeah.
game. It's a long
Yeah.
game. It's different for Star Wars games, but I mean, it sold really well. And
I like it though.
yeah, we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna play it this week, which is gonna be really exciting. But you know, in the esports world, a lot is going on, and especially in Overwatch, which is something I want to talk about. We didn't really get to talk about it too much last week, but if you don't know what Overwatch is, it's a first-person shooter 6v6 game. Different heroes, kind of like League of Legends, each with different abilities. Pretty simple game, which is why it's really fun. And there was a big announcement this week in the esports and competitive that there's a hero pool that was announced for next week. And what that means is they basically decided, because teams were constantly using the same characters and the same strategies over and over, they decided to take the characters that have been played in at least 10% of matches and through the first 2 weeks and take 4 of them away for the next week. So
Wow.
they take 2
That is one
damage,
heck of a
a
curveball.
tank,
Yeah.
and a support hero away. So the 4 that got taken away were McCree, which is used in 60% of matches, Moira, which is used in like 10%, so not a huge takeaway. But then the other 2, or actually Widowmaker was also 10.4%, so not huge, but the tank Reinhardt is in 87% of matches.
Oh my gosh.
So
He's pretty much like
used-
the poster boy for
Yeah,
Overwatch.
so
Yeah, I feel
Overwatch
like
is
everyone
that
has
big
at least
tank
seen
dude.
Reinhardt.
Yeah.
He has a big shield, and he's used for a lot of strategies. And without him and McCree and Widowmaker, like, it completely changes a lot. So you'll probably see different characters being used. It causes for different strategies, which is what obviously they were going for. And it's going to change a lot of teams.
Right.
Because obviously people have their certain mains. A lot of people use McCree and Reinhardt, so that's going to change a lot of stuff.
Are they worried about like competitive integrity with that? Basically, like a team that's just good, all of a sudden next week isn't good because they can't use their characters?
Yeah, someone
No,
like lost
I-
their main.
Yeah.
They
Like mains are huge.
they
in games, I
mentioned it,
believe,
but
in
what they
Overwatch.
said is they kind of have, most people can play more than one character, and a lot of times during games you can switch characters. And so, you know, if you don't use McCree, a lot of people were thinking without McCree, then a lot of people are going to switch to Widowmaker, but now Widowmaker's gone too. So that kind of changes things. So it does. It might kind of affect teams. The best teams will be fine.
Right.
I think it might even give some of the lower teams advantages that play different strategies. So, like, for example, like when you have a team that constantly doesn't use those heroes, you know, that might help them because now other teams have to change their strategy, and it might give those teams that advantage. So it's going to change a lot. It's going to make things really interesting. I know that a team that was really going to be affected is Paris, because they use McCree all the time. And so that's going to change their strategy a lot. There's something called dive comp, which is a strategy which is basically you just kind of run at the enemy. That's you use a lot of characters with a lot of movement. You know, kind of
And you
stretch them out
You
move
just
a lot.
rush the objective, basically,
and
right?
and so that's something without Reinhardt you're probably going to see a lot more of, because Reinhardt using his shield can kind of sit back and keep the team together. So it's going to be it's going to change a lot. It's probably going to speed up pace of play a little bit. So that's going to be interesting. But
I just think that's cool. I think it honestly makes it more fair, because then like it kind of brings these teams to a point where like, are you really good at Overwatch the game, or are you just good with the one character?
Yeah.
That's so there's a lot, and also teams have more than 6 players, like actual players, so they can swap people in and out every game.
So you can basically hire just a McCree one trick, and like he's
You
only good
could,
at McCree.
yeah.
Yeah.
So most of the weeks you're fine, but
yeah.
then when McCree's banned, you're just like, all right, you're coming out of the
Yeah.
game for a little while. Come sit on the bench. Maybe you can learn someone else.
So yeah, I mean, I think it's gonna be pretty interesting. You about to say something?
Yeah, so the game of Overwatch, you mentioned it's a 6v6
Yeah.
first-person shooter. So I know there's like different objectives though. Call of Duty, I feel like, is very mainstream, so a lot of people know what search and destroy, domination,
Yeah.
hardpoint, and games like that are. But like I know there's like moving parts in the actual game of Overwatch. Can you talk a little bit about that?
So basically, the way it works is they play a best of 5 in maps. So like you can win a map, and each map has different game modes, I guess you could say. There's one where you have to basically, there's a point in the middle, and you have to capture the point. You have to hold it. It's like hard point that doesn't move. So it just kind of sits there. You have to capture it and win. There's one where one team moves a payload, which is basically just a big truck thing. You stand near it, and if you're standing near it, then it'll move, and you have to get it to the end of a trail, and they have to stop you. The defense has to stop you. And then there's also ones where you have to cap a point and then move a payload and stuff. So there's different game modes within it. So it's a lot of it comes down to how a team uses like certain strategies, whether they want to all bunch up or just rush and stuff. And so they kind of have a lot of capturing of points, and it involves a lot of it's not just kills. Like I know search and destroy has a lot of objectives, but you can win on kills. Like this, you could be killing them, and then all of a sudden one rush and they're pushing back. So the tide can switch a lot, which is why it's really fun to watch, because you could be losing and all of a sudden just completely change everything. So
So I feel like that game mode that you were talking about, well, with moving the payload, like being near it and moving it, I feel like when they took Reinhardt out, like you mentioned, he has a big shield. I've seen some clips, and I've seen videos of Reinhardt being used. That shield literally covers essentially the entire alleyway of where it is. I feel like that would be a huge disadvantage to some teams that are running a Reinhardt while moving.
Yeah, I think what it might do is encourage the use of like other characters, like Orisa, who also has a shield. She's not as mobile as Reinhardt, and doesn't quite do as much damage or have a strong enough shield, so she's not too popular, but she does have that shield, and it could be used, and it's more of a mobile shield. Like you can shoot it. It's a projectile shield, so you can place it in certain spots, which can be an advantage because you can block off a certain area, but you don't have it attached to you, so it changes a lot. But they still have characters with shields. Bridget's another one that has more of a personal shield. But so yeah, I mean, without Reinhardt, things are going to get really interesting. So
Well, and is this how they're gonna pick like every single week, like the
So
most
yes.
popular players
So
from like the last week go away?
So every week they'll take the 10%, the characters of the past 3. So next week they'll take the characters of the past 3 weeks that have played at least 10%, and then they'll pick 4 random.
Okay, so it's a lottery
Okay.
after that point.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then, so this weekend, kind of dive into what most recently happened. The Atlanta finally played. I mentioned last week that Atlanta had never really hadn't played a game. There's a few teams that hadn't played games, and a lot of people were waiting for Atlanta Reign. And this guy, Dustin Dogman Bowerman, he finally got to play. A lot of people were excited. Atlanta is kind of a heavy favorite.
His
He came
appeal
in.
knows no bounds.
They did get upset, which was kind of shocking. They lost to Paris. They went 1-1 this week.
Oh wow.
But a lot of people were excited for them. He actually has a really intense quote. He He's known for trash talking.
Oh boy.
which a lot of people like, a lot of people don't like. He said, "The Atlanta Reign is the team to beat. We're trash talking every team we go against to make sure that we're in their head. That's what we want. We want to make everyone else feel like trash. We piss a lot of people off, I imagine, but everybody wants to join us and everybody wants to beat us." So everyone was looking,
trash talk is
everyone was
something
looking
else.
forward to him, and he was incredible. He's an incredible player, and finally they got their start. And but they still, everyone's looking for them versus Philadelphia, who is playing right now. Philadelphia Fusion played really well this weekend. This is them right here. They're still undefeated. They're 5-0 now. They continue to dominate.
wow.
They've only lost 2 maps,
think I
and
can
you
see
have
why.
to. Yeah, they are very good.
How did they do last season? Didn't they end up placing pretty near the top last
They
season?
did. San Francisco ended up winning, who's only played 1 match so far.
Okay.
But Philadelphia they did do pretty well last year, but not. I mean, everyone's kind of looking at Philadelphia right now, just like they are the team to beat. Them in Atlanta, everyone's thinking Atlanta's going to come, and obviously they haven't played as much, but
They're going to end up being
yeah,
a top
they're going to
team.
end up
Yeah.
being there. So a lot of people are excited about that.
Well, how do y'all feel about like kind of going back to like the Dogman style of I guess playing? How do y'all feel about like trash talking? Because I'm down for anyone to make it more entertaining. I think it kind of brings another level to an already kind of heated game.
There's a fine line. So are you trash talking before or after the game? Because I've seen a lot in esports. I feel like that's the place where players will go and trash talk before and after the game. And before, I'm fine with. I think it adds a lot of drama and it's really fun. But there's plenty of like, I know League of Legends pros and I'm sure there's Overwatch pros that go on and continue to trash talk after they've already won the game. And to me, I feel like that's kind of defeating the point of it. So, I mean,
Like that's where it becomes unsportsmanlike.
yeah, that's where it becomes like it's not fun or entertaining
Yeah.
for anybody anymore. You know.
Yeah, I'm kind of on the same level with you. I like the trash talk before and even during. I find it very entertaining. I mean, when you watch other types of sports, like when you watch NFL, they're mic'd up, so you can hear it during the commercial on what they're saying. I think the trash talk during it is a lot of fun. So I like Dogman and the way he plays and the way he talks. But yeah, I think after the game is when you need to, shake hands, respect your opponent, and all that other good stuff.
Yeah.
I feel that.
I think Dogman, I mean, I kind of enjoy it, but
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I like it.
so we're actually going to take a quick break. We're going to talk about some League of Legends, see if they have a Dogman of their own. I don't know if they do, but so we're
say
going to take a
Double
quick
fills
break. We're
that
going to load
role.
up some League of Legends and talk about a little Call of Duty as well. So we'll be right back. And welcome back to Ready Up. So I know we just talked about it. League of Legends, Call of Duty. I know there's a lot going on. Do you just want to jump right into it?
Yeah, I mean, I can start. So I feel like most importantly, much like most of the news nowadays, I'm going to talk about coronavirus because that's everywhere. And the two first things I want to talk about are the Eastern major regions, so Korea and China, or LCK and the LPL. So the bad news, we'll start with that, is that the LCK starting tomorrow will be indefinitely postponed due to coronavirus fears. So Korean League of Legends is now on hold. I mean, they've just been having a lot of issues with the virus coming over, into the country, and they're trying to get it handled, but they just don't feel like it's safe right now to have all the players come and congregate in the same, building to play tournaments and stuff. They'd already restricted the audience and not allowed an audience in, but now they're just going to go ahead and say, we'll cancel it for right now. We'll see. They're going to try and figure something out. But on the other side of that coin, the good news is that Chinese League of Legends is back. So the LPL is going to be started as an online league. And they're going to go into a condensed schedule. So they're going to go from playing 2 best-of-3s a day to 3 best-of-3s a day, which is like almost 8 hours of League of Legends, 9 hours if you get, all 3 games out. Every match goes to a best-of-3. So they're going to go to a condensed schedule to try and get through their regular season in time for MSI in May. So they've got to play like 18 games between, I think, 16 teams each, every week. So it's going to be very entertaining to watch. Chinese League of Legends, as I mentioned last week, they're the past 2 world champions, along with just playing a very aggro, almost like you were mentioning dive comps in Overwatch. It's like every game they play is a dive comp, basically. It's always a blitz or a rush. They play crazy. So that comes on really late at night for us, basically, from midnight to like 9 a.m. But if you happen to watch VODs or you just happen to not be able to sleep, that's always really fun League of Legends to watch. So that'll come back on the 9th, so next Monday.
Well, that's exciting news.
No, it's really good because, like I said, hopefully Korea follows in their footsteps and also does an online league. They'll probably remain suspended for a week or 2, but hopefully they get right back into it with an online league because, I mean, everyone in Korea is in a small country and the internet infrastructure is really good. So having issues with lag and stuff like that shouldn't be a problem for them if they want to do an online league to follow up.
Yeah, that's pretty good. It is kind of scary though. I mean,
Yeah,
coronavirus.
Oh,
It's
my goodness.
yeah,
It's definitely
it's affecting
spreading.
a lot of things, and yeah,
It's gonna be a bigger issue. Like even LCS and LEC, Europe and North America, they're not necessarily canceled or anything like that, but they're already changing traditions. Like from something as small as basically the players high-fiving the fans after a game.
Oh, yeah.
That's like no longer allowed. Like they're not doing that. They're not allowed to interact with the fans. And I can imagine soon that basically both venues will have no more fan interaction.
Well, and I mean,
and
just
possibly
from a
even get
competitive
canceled.
standpoint, like, how do you like even better yourself as a team, like, without being able to play and without being able to like kind of like gauge like where you guys are, like.
That's a huge issue. A lot of people think this year is going to have a big asterisk by it because basically, if you get to go to international events and you do well, like an NA team finally does good, there'll be this huge question of, well, was it because China and Korea didn't get to play properly? Like, did they have their seasons shortened so they didn't get the actual proper practice? Is that why North America did well? So we'll just have to see how it plays out and kind of, you hope for everyone's safety and everything to get back to normal as soon as possible, but it's hard to say for sure.
So what you're saying is if North America wins, it could still technically kind of just have like the air quotes like
Yeah,
behind
basically.
it.
That's a huge like fear and issue is that
I think we all know that feeling with our national championship for our football team.
that hits too close to home. But so we'll talk about the stuff or the League of Legends that is still going because we have the other 2 major regions are Europe and LEC, and that's a really tight race for first right now. Basically, you have Origin, G2, and Fnatic. They're all sitting at the top of the table, 9-3. The next closest team is 2 wins behind them. So that's going to be your uncontested best team in Europe, and they all play a different style of league that's really fun. You have Fnatic that's just picking all these different champions and has like a champion ocean, as some people call it. Basically, they just can pick anything into whatever you have as a counter, and it's just really interesting to watch. And then you have Origin that's like playing it very slow, very steady, very like perfect game theory, like trying to get through their games. And then G2 is just the same G2 they were last year, which is this crazy dominant team that only just has the 5 best players in Europe and they win just by being better than you in those
Yeah.
aspects. It's not necessarily they're smarter players; they're just
they're
better.
just better.
Like
Better reaction time, better
Yeah.
everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
we're just better.
so
Just win.
G2 could be unthrown
W.
this season, but I don't know. So we'll have to keep a close eye on that. But that starts up tomorrow and Saturday, and G2 is going up, or no, Fnatic is going up against Origin and G2. So we'll really quickly be able to tell who the best team in Europe is right now and who's just behind them. So that's fun to watch. On the other end of the ocean, though, we have North America, which is the exact opposite story, which is Cloud9 could quite possibly be the best team in North American history. They are
Wow.
12-0 now.
That's exciting.
Yeah, I say that,
about
and
time we
it
brought it
might
home.
bite me this weekend. I feel like I'm just gonna come check into League this weekend, and they're gonna go 0-2, and I'm like, okay, it's gone. But
It's over.
It's like when I talk to somebody new. I like go to my friends and I'm like, oh, I'm talking to this really nice person, and then like 2 days later, I'm like, never mind.
Forget I said anything. So they're 12-0,
Mhm.
and what's really a fun fact, or like a fun statistic for the North American League, is that you have Cloud9 at the very top, and the difference in wins between first place is larger than the difference between second and ninth place. So second and ninth place in league, in North America, is like 7 wins and 3 losses for second, and then like ninth is I believe 4 and 8. Meanwhile, Cloud9 sitting at the top with 12-0. So there's like a 5-win discrepancy between first and second. And then second and ninth is just this giant muddle of who's going to make playoffs, because
Yeah.
the top 6 teams do. So there's a very good
Yeah.
chance that unless you're the 10th place team, you can make playoffs if you really get your season righted right
Mhm.
now. So
That's crazy.
Very-
That sounds like a complete free for all, just like all across
Yeah.
the board.
yeah, it is. A lot of legacy teams aren't doing well. I know that you watched the documentary and you mentioned
I
it to me.
did.
So Team Liquid has been champions of North America for 4 splits in a row, or 2 years basically. And behind that has been Double Lift, who's the best North American AD carry there is. But Angel and I have both been watching some of these documentaries. So
Yes, and he has. So I think it was last week he was down for laryngitis, and then so they brought Tactical in to kind of take his spot. And then it was announced just recently that Tactical is going to remain in Double Lift's position. And when they asked him like, "Oh, is he still sick?" They were like, "It's not really a sick thing anymore."
Oh.
yeah.
And from the documentary that I watched,
What's the name of it?
it's called Squad, and it's
Okay.
on their YouTube channel. If you just type in Team Liquid Squad to the search bar, you can watch them. And basically what Double Lift said was that, he's been talking with his coaches and he's been talking with his teammates, and they have even said, like, the Double Lift that was back in 2018 that could, like, never be beat, that everyone was completely, that was just dominating everyone, is not there anymore. And he even came out with a tweet. Hang on, let me pull it up real quick. And he said, "I'm benched because I had no motivation until very recently. Being sick and unable to compete gave me my passion back, but too late. I'm sorry toward everyone of my teammates, and I'll be working from now on to regain their trust." Which I think, I don't know, kind of definitely reiterates for me that, like, I mean, this is like an actual, like, that's like a kind of thing that you would do, like, for NFL, NBA. Like, that's what you would.
Yeah.
That's if your athlete is not performing well, then they get benched. And I think I'm happy for him that he's found the motivation back, but hopefully he'll be able to come back and better than ever, but he's gonna have to really prove himself at this point.
That's kind of crazy. Sounds like Tony Romo and Dak Prescott.
That whole ordeal.
I
Yeah.
imagine he'll be back. I can't imagine Team Liquid not putting him back on the roster. I'm sure he'll find his motivation, but I'm just most excited for Tactical, who's a rookie North American player. And even if he doesn't get to play for the rest of the season, even if Double Lift comes back, a week from now and is motivated and playing great, Tactical just showed, hey, I can go 2-0 in, North America. So he's going
Right.
to find a team next
Yeah.
split that has a struggling AD carry, and he's going to be like, all right, I'll take their spot. And so at least he's on a team now, probably for sure next split. So I'm
Yeah,
really
for sure.
excited. But you had some COD news to go over too, right?
Yes, I know we're running out of time here, but let me go over some quick things coming up. So the Week 4 Call of Duty is happening in LA. The 2 teams out of LA are actually Optic Gaming and the Los Angeles Guerrillas. So the first game happening of
I
that,
know, I like it
yeah,
too.
it's actually not spelt like gorillas like the monkeys. It's gorillas like guerrilla warfare. So it's actually a little
Oh,
cool. Yeah.
okay.
So the
Funny.
yeah, funny. So the first game happening is actually going to be the finals from last week. It's going to start with Atlanta FaZe, that is the only remaining undefeated team left, and the Florida Mutineers. FaZe swept them in the finals, and the Mutineers were pretty upset. There was a lot of press conferences that we don't have time to talk about right now, but they were upset with themselves and they wish they would have won. But I do know that next week, after the tournament in LA, will be in Dallas. And obviously my home team, the Dallas Empire, I've been following them for a while. It's a lot of fun. They're looking to win. So they're looking to win the championship of that weekend, but if not, they're just wanting to play well, because the last time they were in a situation, they made it to the finals and they got swept by Atlanta FaZe. Just like I've been saying, Atlanta FaZe has been dominating everyone and they've just been taking over. So they really want to play. And I know that if you're interested in going into the Dallas one, general admission is only $39. So if you live in the area or have friends in the area or want to make a trip out of it, it's like $40 and they're so much fun. The tournaments in the Call of Duty League are a lot of fun. So I know we're almost out of time, so Barrett, I'll hand it back to you.
All right. Well, I know we are gonna have Santi Solano. We're excited. Good friend of ours.
Warming up in the
we're gonna
background
play
as we speak.
Yeah, we're gonna play. Last week we played Smash. We're gonna play 2K.
So you're gonna see us get whooped at games we don't know how to play twice. So
Yeah.
like it's gonna be a weekly
Pretty
event.
much.
Clear your schedule.
We'll start to play games that we actually know.
Get some League of Legends and
Eventually.
Overwatch up in here.
Something that's not what we're playing. You guys ever played 2K ever?
I've played it. Am I good at it? No, but I have played it. That is
Right.
correct.
Okay.
I feel like
so-
it's almost like Madden and like 2K are almost like a rite of passage when it comes to like playing video games. Like you at least have to play them once.
Yeah. It's kind of I mean I haven't played since 2K14 and so I don't know how it's gonna change a lot. How different is that, Sandy? It's pretty big. It's pretty big.
Okay. So you're as
um,
in rough spot as the rest of us.
yeah,
So-
yeah. I don't know. I play a lot of NCAA basketball, but that's that hasn't come out since 2010. So
R.I.P.
it's gonna be a little interesting. But we're gonna be back in a second. We're gonna have Santi on. Excited. Not sure who's gonna play first. We'll decide that, but it's gonna be
figure it out.
it's gonna be a lot of fun. So stay tuned because we're gonna be playing some load up some 2K for you guys. So we'll be right back.
Oh, there you go. Superstar.
The end of the practice is when we do all of our like intensity drills.
Okay.
She was going at
Yeah.
it.
Stop. If we get them to Detroit
guys.
by, let's say like Monday the 15th. Right there. There we
Yes.
go. Yeah. Just, you can't.
Don't want to talk about it.
When you see the water tower, you're gonna make a right.
If we win this, is the one way to get to the playoffs. I mean,
And welcome back to Ready Up. Got our boy Santi here. looking forward
Thanks for
to some
having me.
2K.
Thanks for having me.
How often do you play 2K?
Probably every day.
Every day.
honestly.
Probably
No,
every
I'm not even kidding. Like I definitely at least get on it every day to just check up, see if they have any events going on the park or anything for you to play with your My Player or anything like that. But yeah, usually pretty much a daily player. Yeah.
Okay.
What got you started on 2K?
Really is just my group of friends, you know, they were all huge basketball guys, and so once I got around them, I just kind of started adopting that, and when we would hang out and stuff like that, you know, we'd just play 2K. That was our go-to game, and so I kind of just started getting into it. I think my first 2K I owned was 2K9, if I believe, but I went back and played, right? So I moved to Oklahoma around 2009, 2010. So at that point, we're at 2K10, 2K11. And so I kind of took it upon myself to go back and play some of the older ones like 2K7, 2K8, all that
Played
stuff.
2K8 a lot, actually.
Really? Yeah. I enjoyed 2K9 a lot when they had Kevin Garnett on the cover.
Oh, yeah.
If you ever played that one, so when you would play the blacktop mode or the street mode, basically you could pick courts like all over the world. So they would have like an Egyptian one or like an Italian one or whatever. It was
sounds
pretty
cool.
cool. Yeah, it was pretty cool. But yeah, the games has just like evolved so much from when I first started playing. I mean, you guys know now everything is kind of microtransactions and stuff like that. Kind of what this has turned into, because before I didn't even need internet to play 2K. You know, you just play offline with your My Player.
That's
and
what's
stuff,
really
but-
nice about sports games. You guys want to get started?
Yeah,
playing?
yeah. we can-
I know that one thing that I've always liked about sports games is you can just get on and play, you know, by yourself. Like a lot of new games, obviously, like most of the main esports games, like, you know, Overwatch, 100% you have to be online. Call of Duty, you can play by yourself. You know, you can play campaign.
That's another
There's
thing. You
other
can get better
modes.
at the game. This one, you can get better at the game playing just against the computer if you want to. But in reality, the play style that you see when you're actually playing against real people.
Yeah, that is something. I
is
mean,
way
that's with
different.
all, especially EA games. You know, with
Thunder?
Madden. I like to play FIFA a lot. With FIFA,
I'm not creative. I went with Thunder.
I don't know who to
Play-
go with, man. I'll go with my hometown Heat. I'll pick the Heat.
Okay.
I'll go
I
with
know
the
when
Heat.
you play FIFA, the style of play between
Yeah.
a person and the computer is completely different.
It's
so
way different. Yeah, it's crazy. And my roommate last year, he was huge into FIFA, and I remember him telling me, I want to say it was FIFA 18 or something like that. I believe he was ranked like top 100 in the country.
Oh,
And
wow.
so, and he was big. Yeah. He was big into the FIFA culture and stuff. And even last year when I lived with him, he would play, I'd say, 20 to 25 games of Ultimate Team a day.
well, there was just recently there was a Ultimate Team in FIFA. There was a a game that they couldn't connect to each other, so they had to be decided by rock, paper, scissors.
Oh,
Yeah.
no way.
Um,
Rock, paper, scissors?
Yeah. So
Oh, that's
I know
kinda-
Cameron knows a lot about that. He can talk about that when he's over here.
So they just decided the game on...
Yeah, because they couldn't connect. They didn't know what to.
How
Yeah, and
far
it was like
away
a
were these people?
championship. So like $50,000 and $30,000 runner-up
How far
prize.
away were these people? They couldn't just join up and play a local match or something like that? Is local dead now?
Local
Play
is dead.
Could you imagine though practicing and getting ready, and then out of all of a sudden they're just like, okay, rock paper scissors, we don't care at
Right?
this point.
How does like I just don't get how that
wanna
it
play
doesn't
FIFA?
connect, man.
Competitive. And
Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
I'll have a better
I don't know
chance
if I
to
can
beat
put
you
my
with the
record
rock,
up
paper,
on the line
scissors
like
approach.
that.
You want to do that?
You guys might have a better chance, honestly, but hey, I usually don't play against other people at like 5-on-5, because like for 2K, at least in my opinion, what the main attraction is the My Career mode. You guys know what that is. You get to create your own player, go through the NBA season and whatnot, and
Duncan
get all
Robinson,
sorts of
Huge fan
accolades.
of him.
Yeah, hey, strap. Boy can shoot. But yeah,
okay, yep.
like
That's the start of my game.
that's the main attraction to me. I really enjoy the My Career mode because it's really not nearly as much of a cash grab as My Team is or something like
Yeah.
that, which is the
Right.
ultimate team version of 2K. But yeah, I really do enjoy it. I'll say the mechanics of the game, you know, it has its issues. It's gotten better over the years, but sometimes I really do feel like they just fluctuate, you know.
Yeah.
The game will be like I enjoyed 2K19 a lot more than I've enjoyed 2K20 so far.
I never understood how that happens, but
Right?
It's just
How do
like,
you
make it worse?
go up
Right, how
a
do you
year
take a
and,
step
and,
back?
and take a step back, exactly, and you don't improve from your past mistakes? I really think it's just a loop to get us to keep buying the game.
Yeah.
And hey,
Yeah.
it's working.
Yeah.
I buy it every year. I buy the game every year. I was
mean-
gonna boycott 2K this year, and
That's
It
one
didn't
thing.
And it didn't work out for you.
you're playing it.
That's one thing about I know like newer games like or games that come out every year, FIFA, NHL. I like playing those a lot. The My Careers are actually like the most played modes, like career mode, GM mode, and NHL.
Yeah,
is played a
GM
ton.
mode is my GM is huge.
But-
is huge on 2K.
But they seem to focus. I know 2K and EA are obviously different. I don't know how much it changes in 2K because in EA, a lot of times it feels like
Well-
they focus a lot on Ultimate Team, especially in
most
FIFA.
because
and
that's
they don't
their
add a ton
that's
to
their
career mode,
bread
and a lot of
butter
people.
for it. Yeah, because I remember because I told you my roommate was huge into FIFA, so he kind of got me into FIFA 2 summers ago, and so I bought FIFA 18. And I'm going into it with that same 2K mindset that I want to play my career.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I just want to pick a team or create my player and then go through the season with whatever.
defense.
And it really,
I know,
yeah, really left
Wide
me a
open.
little bunny right there.
I'm trying to figure out the controls still, much less the strategy of it.
but yeah, like the career mode,
I'll help
definitely
you out.
not
Get
even
the ball
as
into the
close as
hoop.
in depth as it is in 2K. There's no actual story. I guess there is kind of a storyline now in FIFA if you guys have played it with. I don't know what the
Yeah,
guy's name is.
Alex Hunter.
Alex Hunter.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so he's been through it with like it's like 2 or 3 FIFAs now that it's like just been
there's my
following the
man,
same guy
Steven.
Yeah.
or something
That's
like
kind
that.
of exciting, but it's also
only
I
one
don't
who
know. I
hasn't left
feel
us.
like what they really need to do is add more to the career mode, not much the story mode, because career mode is honestly having the transfers, being able to transfers, pick a
So
team
splash.
and bring it from nothing.
Yeah.
Pick whatever team, especially because obviously in North American leagues with the NHL, NBA, MLB, the teams. You can take the worst team, and there's obviously a big
How
gap.
did you make that?
I don't know. I
How
don't
did
know
you
what I'm
make
doing.
that?
There's obviously a big gap, but then in
Can't do it
FIFA you
overall,
have
but can
the
make
difference
just
between
absolutely
Barcelona
insane
and
shots.
like some of the MLS teams is
It's-
absolutely absurd.
It's ridiculous
so
how
it's really interesting to be able to bring
Oh.
teams to basically make a new
Yeah.
powerhouse, but
Yeah.
I feel like it's just not focused on anymore.
exactly.
So I said in the first quarter, Cameron, you want to come?
I'll say
Come
we
on
should definitely
here.
get someone else in.
Yeah,
besides-
please take the reins from Trent.
Santi wants a
'cause-
real challenge.
Yeah, I
Was
mean,
that a good
usually,
warm-up round?
honestly,
5
usually I
points.
gotta really focus on the game when I'm playing. So the fact that I'm playing and
Playing and
talking and
talking.
still winning is kind of blowing my mind because I'm pretty terrible when it comes to that. I usually have to tell myself to be quiet when I'm playing.
Yeah,
But-
I'm a really bad multitasker.
Yeah,
You
it's
gotta
tough,
know.
man.
Yeah.
It's not.
So I'll try to not distract you as
No,
much.
no, no.
Yeah, no,
Angel,
I-
I'll ask you. You ever play any sports games?
I've like played like here and there, but like overall, not really. They're not really like my personal like bread and butter. I think I'm definitely more like I definitely grew up on like Street Fighter. Like one of
Okay,
my
yeah.
favorite
I
games
used to
ever
play
was like
a
Mortal
lot of
Kombat.
Street Fighter, a lot of Mortal Kombat.
It was
too. My
so-
family.
I used to
don't
want to
know.
be Katana when
It
I
was
was
really
younger.
weird. My family was really big into like Mortal Kombat and all those games. Like I would always just play it with them, like the old ones, you know.
I don't know what it was about. Maybe it's because like those kinds of games kind of came out like in the beginning, and like maybe like the older generations can just connect on them more. But
Yeah.
like we kind of did the same thing in our house.
Shoot, I'll say me and my family played a lot of Super Mario Bros. We would just take turns playing. I think we beat Super Mario 3 in like 4 hours, 3 hours, just like the 4 of us going at it, switching turns and stuff.
Oh, you know
like-
what? I have played sports game. Wii Sports.
Wii
Wii Sports count.
That's a
Sports
legendary
definitely
sports
That,
game.
hey, I want to go back and play
That's
Wii Sports. I was talking
Top
about it the other
10
day.
sports game of all time.
Put
Yes.
some baseball on here.
The
Hot-
baseball, yes. I was never good at bowling. I could never get the bowling.
Hot take: I prefer Wii Sports Resort over the original.
You see, I never played Resort.
I didn't play
It was
Resort
What did
either.
it have that was different than the
Um,
OG one?
pretty
Well, I'm
much
sure
ev-
the
pretty
sports
much-
were different, but
Pretty much everything different. Like they had, oh my gosh, I'm blanking out. It was like not jousting. Oh my gosh.
oh, was it the
Oh, it was,
Where they fight with swords?
Lancing,
yeah,
like,
lance. Is it lancing?
Oh,
Not
no, I don't know.
lancing,
Fencing?
but
Fencing.
Fencing.
Fencing,
that's
yes.
what-
They had
Okay.
fencing. You
maybe I
could
did play it. I kind of remember now.
you could fly
Hey.
planes. It was I loved
Fly
Yeah, you
planes.
could fly a plane around. You can go in volcanoes.
Wow.
Yeah.
What?
resort? Is that like a resort activity? Like
Yeah, we sports. Yeah,
What resort are
There
y'all
was-
going to?
right?
Oh, they had the I think
Paraglide. Or,
I think
no,
the
they
most
had-
fun was basketball. They had basketball.
Okay,
Wii Sports
now
Resort.
I definitely
Yeah.
played
Yeah.
that, and I
Yeah.
was terrible at it.
Everybody played the basketball. It was so much fun. I think I just mostly did the 3-point challenges like with my friends,
Yeah.
but it was fun. Wii Sports Resort is
I
a
don't know.
good time.
I love regular Wii Sports because
no.
I spent a lot of time on baseball.
Oh my
and,
God, yes.
Baseball and tennis were
Yes.
my go-tos. I would sweat. I would definitely break a sweat playing tennis.
Yeah,
Definitely
dude,
had to wear
tennis-
the little wrist strap.
And you just-
Boxing.
I would get
boxing
so
was
mad
tough.
at like the
Never
memes
good
that
at-
were already
yes,
on there.
the
Boxing
computer
was
would
hard.
kick
Matt.
my butt all the time, man.
But so Santi, camera guy, Noah, he wants to know
What's up?
favorite 2K.
Oh, 2K11. 2K11 is the best 2K by far. If anybody has a argument, I maybe give you like 2K15.
And welcome to Santi's TED Talk.
Yeah, I mean, welcome. Yeah, welcome. We got halftime going.
Yeah.
So, you know, we're not really bothered.
Barrett, you want to get in a quarter?
Oh yeah, sure. I'll play.
But no, definitely 2K11. I think it had the most versatility. It was the first game to introduce like the legends. It was the first 2K to have
yeah.
Michael Jordan in it, and so that was really cool.
Yeah.
And like you would get to play.
Oh, that's
through the-
interesting.
Yeah, it
I
was-
think he'd be like the first one. Like, make a
Right?
basketball game, put Michael
Well,
Jordan
well,
in.
2K came out in 1999 with the first NBA 2K, which had Allen Iverson on the cover,
Yeah.
and it was just NBA 2K. And ever since then, you know, they just hadn't put the legends in the game at all. You know, it was just like any other game because I feel like FIFA doesn't really do that either. They don't really have legendary teams like that, right?
No, they don't have legendary team. I mean, they have like one, but what they did
They have
recently
like
since like
the
FIFA
Adidas
14,
teams, right?
they-
Like the Adidas.
yeah,
teams.
Shaq
but they
is
add,
not
since
happy
FIFA 14 they
on the
added
desk.
legends that you can put into Ultimate Team.
Yeah.
But what NHL has done, which I really like, is they have straight up legend players that you can put into like career mode and stuff, and like GM
you
mode.
see, I was gonna get to that. In 2K11, there was I can't remember if it was 11 or 12, but there was a mode where you could pick Michael Jordan and you could put him on any team in the current NBA. So like you could play as him, or you could pick any NBA player you wanted and put him on whatever, and just basically play their career like through you. But it was like as if you were playing my career, you know. And so that was really cool, and I really miss all those old features 2K used to have that made the game so much more fun. Like they used to have celebrity teams and stuff. They had Snoop Dogg in the game. I'm pretty sure they
my
even had Justin Bieber in the game. Like I think 2K10 had Justin Bieber in it.
No, Santi, I do want to ask you this. So
Go for it.
It's not obviously they're popular games. Madden, FIFA, 2K, they're all popular.
Yeah.
Why do you think they're not as popular as like all the first-person shooters? Like we have Overwatch,
Yeah, in terms of
CS:GO,
esports,
League. In
Yeah.
terms of esports, why do you think they're not as popular tournament-based and prize pool-wise?
Yeah. So so as not huge into esports, but I see the buzz. I mean, it's a huge industry, and I really admire it. Like I do enjoy watching it sometimes, like here and there. But as far as like sports games goes, I think the mechanics of the game have a lot to do with it. For example, I don't know if you guys have seen any clips of Madden this year, but man, there's just floating bodies out there. The ball looks like it has no like density to it or any weight to it at all. And so I think that has a big part to do it, like whenever you're trying to have a competitive scene, you know, and somewhere where you could play and it's an even match, you know, you won't have anything out of the blue happening that's like, well, why doesn't that happen to the other guy?
Yeah.
You know, but like FIFA's, I think it was the first one to really get it started for sports video games into esports, because I know FIFA's huge. They do tournaments all around the world all the time. My roommate would always tell me about them, and I've seen the money some of these people make, and I think it's crazy. But like 2K also, we have the 2K League, which is basically, it's an esports league just for 2K alone, and it's grown a lot. So I think it was founded in 2017, and they had their initial season in 2018. And so they've been going at it for 2 years now. I believe they started with 17 teams, and now they're up to 21. So it's really expanding, and all those 2K League teams are affiliated to an actual NBA team.
Oh, wow.
So yeah. So it's not just 2K alone. The NBA is actually like partaking in it, and they want to they want to grow it more and more each time.
So
and
what you're saying is if the Thunder's not good in real life, we could be
the
good on the
Thunder's
esports
Thunder's
side.
esports team, 2K League team might be better than but hey, the Thunder have proven us this season that they're a lot better than we all would have thought they would be.
They are.
That's definitely
Angel,
Like-
here you go.
I think
Angel's
they've
gonna
proven-
finish off this game.
Yeah, I think they've proven a lot of people wrong, but yeah, I think they're definitely growing. But like
Yeah.
you said, like I don't see how Madden could really
Yeah.
get into
I mean,
that.
And it's funny that you mentioned that because I feel like like glitch-wise, I see so many like Madden or like just sports game glitches more than
Yeah,
I do with like
yeah.
anything
Yeah.
else.
Yeah.
Because I think it's just getting the physics down. I think the physics in a sports game are really big. Because like I told you, like you asked me what's the difference. Because you said the last
Yeah.
2K you purchased was 14. It's like what's the difference between this one and this one? For example, like I think here in 20 at least, they kind of grip the floor a little bit better. Because sometimes it kind of just seemed like they were just gliding on the court, you know, and there wasn't really any real weight to it.
Yeah.
So I think, hey Angel, you're not guarding me right now.
No, I'm not.
I'm gonna let you get back on defense. Just so, yeah.
Listen, I'm figuring out the mechanics, okay? It's been a really long time. I played this like once a really long
but
time
I'm
ago.
gonna let Jimmy give you buckets.
Thanks.
But yeah, I think
Appreciate
that's
it.
really a big part that has to do why it really hasn't broken into the esports scene like that. Because I mean, you guys see COD. How can you cheat in COD?
Yeah.
You know,
I've
there's-
always-
Like it's really tough to find those nooks and crannies. But like, so 2K, it's freaking ridiculous. But we've had, I'll say maybe 10 updates, 8 or 10 updates this year alone, and they've all been around 20 gigs or so, just
Oh my
trying to like
God.
fix the
Yeah.
game. Oh no,
I'm
it's
not gonna-
ridiculous. And
yeah.
it's like
That's insane.
just trying to
That's-
fix the game up and all this stuff, and that just the fact that you
Yeah.
have to put that many patches and that many updates into a game just shows that it's really not quite ready to get out there, even though they're doing a great job running the 2K League and all this stuff. And I actually last year, I don't want to toot my own horn, but I want to
Do
say
it.
I was pretty
Come on, let it happen.
I was pretty disrespectful at
I
2K
steal it.
last
I was
year.
pretty
Oh, no,
disrespectful.
wait, wrong
I
team.
got pretty nasty last year, and I thought I was like, shoot, maybe I have a chance at the 2K League, and then 2K20 came out, and I was like, oh, maybe I don't have as
Maybe
much of
not.
a chance at the 2K League, because in 2K20, but maybe it's just because I haven't played it as much, you know. I got 2K19 late last year, so I was a late
Yeah.
bloomer to the game, and I was still out there catching bodies left and right.
Look at
so
that
I-
defense improvement.
You locked me up on that one.
Improvement, everyone.
I've always thought that, you know, to carry on what you're saying, I
That
feel
should have
like
gone in. That's all I'm saying.
it's so hard.
Speaking of physics,
The
that should have
problem
gone in.
Sports video games, unless you're playing, you know, 5v5, like in NHL, I know you can have a full team of sixes versus like a full team of sixes.
Yeah.
But when you're playing FIFA or NHL or 2K, there's a lot to do with, you know, AI players, and that can kind of
Yeah.
affect. Like,
Oh, that's-
sometimes you pass the ball and they run the
Can't get
opposite
past
way.
it.
and
Oh
it's
no,
like,
no, no.
it's not
So,
really
so
a lot
this
of
is
it-
this
not
is
lot
a
of user
huge
error.
thing in 2K that just as a because I actually play basketball in real life too, and so just like as a basketball
Wow.
junkie, right? Crazy, right? As a basketball junkie, I notice all the wrong decisions the AI makes all the time whenever
Yeah.
you're not
Yeah.
the one controlling it. So like I'll give you like the most basic example that everybody can understand. Say I'm Chris Paul and I'm running on a fast break and I got a 2-on-1 and I have Steph Curry, right? Just random team. Steph Curry running to the side. He will cut towards the basket rather than go out to the three-point line for a three. Or if it's like Ben Simmons, he'll go out to the three-point line instead of – that's a better example.
Yeah.
He'll go out to the three-point line instead of
Instead of-
cutting
yeah.
to the basket to get a dunk. And I'm just like –
there's a lot of issues
Yeah,
in sports
yeah.
games that kind of makes it tough. But we're actually out of time here. But thank you for coming on. That was
Thanks
a lot
for
of
having
fun.
us.
That was fun.
Yeah,
Thanks for having me. I
know.
had a blast.
You won. What was final score? 20,
Thanks for
29,
beating
14
me.
or something?
Something like that.
I don't know who scored the most points out of us. But
It was not me.
I think Trent had like
Yeah.
7.
Good job, Trent. Good job.
Half of
All right.
half of y'all's points.
Well, we'll be back. We have top 5 plays. Super excited about that. We just started that this week, so get excited and stick with us because we'll be right back with those. welcome back to Ready Up. We just had a lot of fun playing with Santi. I know.
Kind of got our butts beat.
I
Yeah,
just
we
want to
did.
mention how immediately Angel got in that like sports game mindset of that should have gone in.
Yeah.
the physics are wrong. Like that was
They
the
are.
quickest I've ever seen
They
that
are.
turn. Like I can usually make it through a game of FIFA before I start getting mad.
Yeah,
but
that's
I
one
just-
thing about sports games is when you play a sports game versus play someone online. A lot of times you
Brings
have
out
a
the road
lot
rage.
more excuses
Yeah.
for a sports game. You know that physically that should have gone in, or like he didn't make this, or how did your goalie save that? Where in Call of Duty, you're just kind of like,
Yeah,
I mean,
he
just
shot me
kinda-
first.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like,
Shot
no,
me first.
You
Okay.
still make
I'm dead.
excuses, but they're just not good ones.
You've seen plenty of like basketball games. You haven't seen plenty of wars. You don't know how
Yeah.
the war works. You
Yeah,
just
exactly.
know.
Yeah,
That's
lag.
fair.
Lag is the number one
Yeah.
excuse. If you ever lose, it's
It's
lag.
lag.
It's lag. That's why I lost.
So I know, keeping with the sports theme, we want to go back to the FIFA because I know you wanted to talk about that because that was
Yeah, I just want to bring it up. You mentioned it, so
Yeah.
let's go into a little bit of detail about it. So let's just start. We're gonna play a game, just a game that a lot of people play. We're gonna play Smash. Okay, we've all been training. We've been practicing. Okay, we all put in $25. Okay, winner takes all.
I won my first Smash game.
Yes. Winner takes all. You get $100 if you win. Okay, we've been training for weeks on end. We've been practicing. Okay, final game. I come up and I say, you know what? Never mind. Angel, you and I made it to the finals. We're just going to play rock, paper, scissors. Winner takes $100. After all the training that you did, all we're going to do is take $100. And that's what happened in the FIFA Ultimate Team Championship, essentially.
Yeah, this
So
tweet.
Sean Galea was one of the players in the finals. Now, the opponent he was going to play was Hassan Ecker. Ecker could not connect and they couldn't play each other. So the EA Sports essentially said, just play rock, paper, scissors. So you could see off this tweet, Galea says, I cannot believe it. We literally had to play rock, paper, scissors because we couldn't find each other to invite in on an EA licensed qualifier. WTF, I am done. So he is very upset, obviously, because he's
crying
been
face
practicing.
emoji.
He's been practicing for weeks, and this was for $50,000. Granted, second place got $30,000, but after all the practicing that you've done, I feel like I would want to go out and play FIFA rather than just leave it up to chance of rock, paper, scissors.
I just can't feel like this was a good move by the company. Like, I
Yeah.
feel like the backlash they would get for this, decision is going to cost more than just rescheduling the match. You know what I mean?
Well, I
EA
feel
did
like
get a
not
lot.
connecting is a fairly like common thing. So like, why wasn't there a backup plan in place? You know what I mean?
So FIFA Ultimate Team is very unlike the other one. So kind of like Overwatch and Call of Duty League, you have teams and you meet up and there's 6 people on this bench, 6 on this, and you're in a LAN party and there's very minimal lag and it's all together. Ultimate Team, you can't do that. You can't bring your team with you to other places because it would be too complicated. So they play over online. And that's how the lag will kick in, and that's how, people have to play with the lag and play with, just different things happening like that they can't control. Ecker also posted a tweet whenever it comes up. Yes, it is in German, so I did translate this. Let me help you guys out. So the first word essentially translates to English, and it says stand, which is another word in German for final, done, finished, whatever. It says final 3-1, and the rest of that says, I won rock, paper, scissors in 3 rounds, so I won. It's roughly translated. Okay, I didn't take German in high school or college, so roughly translated is I won in rock, paper, scissors, I won. Is
So
what
they
it says.
played mobile rock, paper, scissors. They
They
didn't
did.
even get on like
It wasn't-
FaceTime
It
or
wasn't
anything.
FaceTime. They
God.
literally linked up on an online
Wow.
rock, paper, scissors thing. And
So they
says,
could link up for rock paper scissors, but they
Yeah.
couldn't link up for
Exactly.
The actual
That's another part
Cruel
of the
irony
argument. That's
of,
another
like-
that's another part of the argument that they didn't have. But the funny thing was it was Ecker that couldn't connect. Galea for some reason had good connection. He could figure it out. So if Galea won, I feel like this would have gone, a little under, like, oh, okay, whatever. Like maybe Ecker was looking for excuses and still lost the end. Ecker couldn't connect, and Ecker won. So that's why a lot of people are like, you can't do that again.
Something
like I
smells
get that
fishy.
you probably can't connect, and I get that you probably can't. There's lag or something, but you got to figure it out. You can't just do rock, paper, scissors for $50,000. I'm sorry.
It's the
You just
best rock
can't.
paper scissor game
Also,
I'd
I'd
ever
like
really
to do
is.
rock, paper, scissors for
We should
50,000.
Yeah.
start a tournament, an esports tournament.
Competitive
Call it
rock,
FIFA.
paper, scissors.
Call it
And-
FIFA.
and
Just
it's
online
just
rock,
rock,
paper,
paper,
scissors.
scissors.
It's online rock, paper, scissors. You don't even meet in person.
Still an
It's
esport.
online.
So I think we're gonna jump into our top plays. I know we're all excited for this.
I'm ready.
Yes.
These are fun.
I'm excited.
These are fun.
Yeah.
These are
So here they are. Starting out with number 5. Number 5 was actually sent in by Julius Boozler U. What a name. So this is
Speaking of
FIFA.
FIFA.
Yeah, I know.
FIFA.
Speaking of FIFA. So this one basic goal sends it out to the wing, the cross, and then a little behind the
my
leg
goodness.
tap in.
nice.
So
I like that.
so yeah. So
Pretty
number
impressive.
4. Number 4 is a nice NHL play. This
How colorful.
so this one.
Now, Barry, who sent this one in?
So this was actually me.
This was me.
I
This
don't
is
actually
my
know
top
number
play,
4,
thank
between
you.
the legs, forehand,
Ooh,
backhand.
got the
like that.
handles.
That's
Look at
my
that. Oh, right around
Was
the
not
goalie.
even
there.
expecting that.
Right around the goalie.
So number 3, this is from MLB The Show. This is from our friend Jason Colicchio, Real Poise.
Oh,
Yeah. Ball
Oh
gets
my
hit
God.
off his head.
That's-
Boom,
that's-
Down,
headshot.
But
down.
here we go.
Boom,
here we go.
headshot.
Everyone's running off. He's still lying there.
Oh,
In pain.
No one's even checking
no
on
one-
him.
yeah, no
I
one
like
wants
the
to
way
check.
not
they
even a-
coded that into the game where you can be in pure misery.
So number 2, this is sent in by Wilkish, Xbox player.
Black
Friend
Ops
of mine.
4.
Yeah, Black Ops 4 actually. And he
Man.
just goes absolutely off in the wine cellars. This
my
was this
gosh.
is pretty remarkable.
God.
He's got the Maddox.
goodness.
In the Call of Duty League, they use the Maddox for every
Yeah.
single match.
Maddox and
it
the
was
SOG.
it was essentially a submachine gun with the range of an assault rifle.
Yeah.
It was a
The
very
Maddox and the
broken
SOG
gun.
just
Yeah.
Absolutely dominated. So
He just
that
popped
was
off.
He
yeah.
did.
And number 1, we got Rainbow Six Siege. We got our friend Jason Colicchio again, former co-host on the bullpen segment on One with me.
Number
A
one
nice
Yankees
clutch here,
fan.
1v5.
1v5.
No
knocks
way
it
he's
No.
down.
gonna ace this.
No.
1v2. 2 more. Oh,
my
no.
God.
Gets the shock in there, and then
Okay.
the final one. Here we go.
Oh, I love the skin on that gun.
Picks him off there.
Oh,
Oh
what a
my
good
God.
Could you
ace. That is
imagine?
huge.
Jason.
So that was top 5 plays.
Please tell me they won
This
the
week.
game after that.
Yeah.
Like, you know, just pull out the
I wish I
amazing
could tell you.
ace
I
and
wish I
then
could tell you.
still lose
We miss
somehow.
you, Jason. But yeah, so that was our top 5 plays for this week. Looking forward to next week's. If you have them, send them to the Okali any way you can. Email. You can tweet at them. Anything. Any way to get them in.
Yeah, throw
We'd
them
love
on
to have
Twitter.
them.
Hashtag ready
It
up.
doesn't-
We'll
it
go
doesn't
find
have
it.
to
We'll
be-
put it on.
I mean, it could be a single player game. It could be. I don't. It could be funny. It could be anything. So so I think we're just about out of time here. But I think level 2. Level
I think
2
that
we
was
got past.
Was another
successful. We
success,
passed
so-
it.
Level 2.
Yes, and level 3 will be. There will be a segment of all of us playing the new Star Wars game. We're
Yes.
going to get our
Yes.
reactions.
We're gonna do a
Angel,
playthrough of that,
Angel
so-
is
I'm
freaking
so
out about
excited.
this.
Level 3 Star Wars
Yes.
Revenge of the Sith.
Oh, don't bring up the prequels in my presence. How dare you?
All right, so yeah, a lot of fun next week. Looking forward to Star Wars. So we'll be back in a week. Looking forward to that. So bye, guys. Nice having you. Thank you for watching.
See you guys.
Bye.